Maryland sports fans, there's only one sports book in the great state of Maryland with over 50 years experience booking bets and supporting customers. Betfred Sportsbook at Longshots is now open and is the only sportsbook in Frederick offering cash betting on football, basketball, world soccer, and more. Visit the Betfred Sportsbook at I-270 and MD-85 in Frederick, right next to Longshots off-track betting. Go to betfredsports.com for more information and your chance to win exclusive merchandise. Must be 21 or older. Play responsibly. For help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Loud Spot. I'm your host, Sebastian, right out of Oklahoma City. I got Jose Urquiza from the band 3 Years Hollow, and I did not mess up your last name. All right, here we go.
On.
Oh, no! Oh, boy! Ah, here it comes! The motherfucking Loud Spot!
All right, man. What is going on, dude? How have you been?
I've been fantastic, man. Yeah, just working on music, lots of music. My music, other people's music. It's really awesome.
So 3 Years Hollow, well, you guys, the band kind of formed, like the earlier 2000s-ish? Is that right?
Yeah. 2003
Okay.
was when we very first got together. And I was only 18, 19 at the time. So we were very young and I had no idea what I was doing. But we went in and recorded a record right away. Like we were a band for 2 months and we went in and did a record. And it's still out there somewhere. But this version of the band got together probably about 2008.
Okay. How much has, so like 18, 19 years old, that's pretty young, man. How much has the style changed? I mean, since because you're the vocalist, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So how much has just yourself as your vocal style, has it changed a lot, or has it stayed similar through this whole time?
Say that I definitely tried to emulate a lot of my favorite singers a lot when I was younger. You know, I might have tried to sound too much like Ben from Breaking Benjamin or David Draymond or LaJean at times, not knowing that I was doing it. But, over time, I guess I've sort of just become comfortable singing and letting my voice be what it is. So I would say, if anything, I've just become a lot more comfortable with my voice and hearing my voice. So I just kind of let that be what it is,
I think a lot of younger musicians, whether you're a guitar player, drummer, whatever, I think a lot of people kind of try to sound similar to kind of who they look up to or who they listen to,
for sure,
with music. But then the more you do get comfortable in your own with your own set of skills, then the more you kind of focus on that, it can grow that, and then you kind of become your own sound. And that's crazy, man. 2000. I mean, you guys have been around for a while. But so the band, this lineup, 6 members, right?
Yeah, we just added the 6th member for this record for these new songs that we're so we've always had, I would say, our guitars and our albums have always been full of 2 to 3, if not sometimes 4 guitar parts. No different probably than so many other bands.
Right.
But we were finally like, you know what? Let's just do 6 people and let's actually have all of these guitars happen live. Let's not do tracks, and we'll have 3 voices because all of us sing very well. So that's, I think, ultimately the goal is, one, we love each other. We're all best friends. And we felt like we could really put on a show great with 6 people. Kind of what changed it for me, honestly, was seeing Ghost live. I wasn't really a fan of their music so much at first, but their live production is amazing. They have so many people on stage, everybody doing their own thing. It's really cool.
Isn't that crazy how you can listen to a band and think, they're okay. Not like you don't dislike them or nothing. They're just okay. Then you watch them live, you're like, oh shit.
Dude,
and it makes you like the band, because then when you hear the song, it reminds you of the time where you saw them play live, man.
Absolutely, bro. I did not love Ghost at first, but when I saw them live, they blew me away.
I'm gonna get so much shit for this, man. I'll tell you. I was not a huge fan. I am now. Now I'm a huge fan, but I was not a huge fan of Deftones when they first came out, right?
Yeah.
And then I saw them playing Sacramento, and I was like, man, these guys are good. And now I like, since then, I mean, this is like a long time ago. Since then, I love Deftones. I'm like, how do you not like? Most people like them, you know. To me, they're kind of classic. I know I'm gonna get shit. I know I'm gonna get shit for that one. I know I get shit for that one. So
I won't make a comment because I'll get shit too.
Have you played? I mean, you guys have played with like all kinds of bands. But before we even talk about that, I do want to ask: when did you guys get your first? I guess you would say like a break, like your first kind of broke into the music scene where you guys are, signed then to a record label and started touring. When did that happen, and how did that feel?
Yeah, I think it was literally around 2012. I gotta give it up to Corey Lowry. I think initially he was the first one that really, we had played a few shows with Empire, and they really, every time we played with them, he was like, "Man, you guys are so good, and you get better every time. I'd really like you to work with my brother Clint." And of course, Seven Dust has been my favorite band since I was in junior high.
Yeah,
so,
man.
For me to be working with Corey and playing with Corey, and then for Corey to say, "Hey, call my brother Clint," I'm like, "Yeah, right. That's not going to happen." And then 2 freaking weeks later, he was at my house, and we were writing 5 songs for our record. And so that happened. And then at the same time, the same year, there was a thing called the Rockstar Uproar Battle of the Bands.
Mm-hmm.
And it had stuff like Zachy Vengeance was a judge, and Bob Weingard from Imagine Records, which is the label that we signed to, he was a judge. And Morgan Rose was the vice president of that label. So at the same time that we're meeting Corey and we're working with Clint, Morgan is hearing about us in a different way because we were first in the nation on that Battle of the Bands thing. So it all just kind of came together. Morgan signed us to that record label. Empire took us on our very first tour. We all had to quit our jobs,
How scary is that to have to quit your? Literally, how scary is it? You're like, "Hey, you got to quit your job. We're getting you guys on tour," and at this point, you're like, "Well, all the what ifs would be going in my head."
Yeah, all the things that you worry about what will happen happened to us. I lost my house, both cars. Everybody in the band basically almost lost everything that they had because for 3 years we were just like, F it. We're going to go out and we're going to play every show we can. We're going to do everything we can. And we were making, I think I made $6,000 a year was the highest that I made when we were out there touring, was $6,000.
And were you touring with a lot of these big, huge artists at the time?
Oh yeah. Yeah. But the opening bands, you're making like $250 a night.
Right.
And you're having to, get a hotel room and gas and pay your crew. So we were really kind of breaking even, sometimes going home losing money, but it was worth it. It was completely 100% worth it, because without all of that, I wouldn't have any of the stuff that I have today. The recording studio, my production partners, Morgan Rose from Seven Dust. I'm working with Barry from 3 Days Grace, Sean from Breaking Benjamin.
Wow.
These guys are all my production partners here now. So it may have cost a bit, in the long term, but that sacrifice was totally worth, the dream.
I don't know if there's a saying. I'm sure there is a saying. I just don't know the saying, but I'll paraphrase whatever the saying is. And that is, if you believe in it enough and it's going to happen, when it's inside you, no one's going to tell you no, and then you just know that better days are coming. Right.
Yeah. For me, it was, now I can look back, and of course everybody always says this, but I wish I would have, slowed down and enjoyed it a little more while it was happening, instead of always thinking, oh, when's that next thing going to come? When's that next tour going to come? This isn't good enough. Let's get the next. And then I look back now and I'm like, we had the most amazing opportunities. So yeah, it's real interesting to reflect on it. Then I tell everybody now in new bands that I meet and work with, if you just, perseverance is everything. If you just continue and you don't quit. You do not let anybody tell you otherwise. Commit to this thing right now for 20 years and stop thinking about it, because that's it. You already made the commitment. You're in.
Right.
Now you just got to keep going.
Did the band ever take a break at all, or did you guys keep going? I guess almost 20. You did?
Yeah, we took a break. We did a Shiprocked, was our last thing, and then we did a tour with Red, and that was our last tour, I think, in about 2018. So we've taken a 4-year break, actually, before coming back right now with a new record.
During that break, were you concerned at all? Was anybody in the band kind of concerned that maybe this is it and we're not doing anything else?
Possibly. Actually, yes, I want to say a lot of people, a lot of members of the band were concerned. Some even expressed concern that it was definitely over. We probably wouldn't do it again. But for me, I was so busy in the studio writing songs with other bands that I never worried about it or considered it. I always knew that as soon as we were ready, it would be our time again. And
right.
I looked at, I've probably co-written and produced over 150, 200 songs in that 4-year time.
Man,
so
that's awesome.
I feel like now I've been training for the Olympics, and now I need to go in and we have to put out the best record we've done, so hopefully all of that work will pay off.
Yeah, man. And you guys, so you must have a really big following, because 2 or 3 of your songs hit top 40 in the top 40 rock charts?
Yeah, we did Billboard. I think we did 3. And that we leave that all up to our radio team, and we thank Stephen Nathan for handling all of that and quarterbacking all of that back in the day. He really led the charge in radio, and radio programmers really supported us for being a new band. So we'll see what happens now. It's been a long time since we put out a single, but I'm sure the landscape has changed a little bit.
Yeah, you know what? And I would say it's what it seems like, and from doing this podcast, hearing about it in just the last, 5 years, even the industry has taken a really big turn, and some people like it, some people don't. Right. But even if you don't, it's just going to continue to change, and it's just, you got to continue to grow with it. Otherwise, you're never going to grow as a musician, because new artists are going to be used to it,
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
it's hard for me, I'm not from the social media era where all day long, every day, I think about posting on Instagram or TikTok, and I post like once every 2 weeks, and I know that's an issue. That's why we're not engaging, but I just like living life a little bit too much,
When I first started doing the podcast, I was always posting on social medias, and I'll tell you what, it just kind of gets old after a while.
Yeah, man.
It's like whatever.
I just have a hard time being like, oh, look at me. Look, I did this thing, or check out my food, even though I love food and I want to take every food picture there is and show it to everybody. I go to do it and I'm like, nobody fucking cares about this food.
No, you're right. you might get some likes anyways, but no, you're right. Nobody cares. Dude, I'm surprised. I still have a couple friends that do post food pictures, and I don't really do that anymore. I used to, that was like a thing. But I don't think it's I've almost started justifying it like I'm going to start posting food pictures again, and I'm justifying it like these are memories that I will be reminded of in the future, which is a good thing.
Yeah, where I can be like, you know what, I'm gonna try that again, or I remember when I had that, I'm gonna eat that, or I'm gonna do this thing, and that is nice. But I literally have to justify it to myself in order to get myself in the habit of doing it.
You can always take a picture with your phone and send it to Walgreens.
Oh, yeah.
Print it off and then make an album for yourself.
That's right. Exactly right.
What do I want for dinner tonight? Let me go to my food.
Yeah. I got a little food book here. Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny, dude. All right. So your new song that just came out, I think in December, Breaking Sound.
Yes.
What inspired, we're going to play this song, but what inspired this song? Because when I was looking you up, it was saying that everything you say is honesty and personal experience, which is what kind of drives your lyrics. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I'm not a great storyteller in the fact where I can write fiction or create these hypothetical situations. To me, I've always been much more about the things that I'm afraid to say, or that I've been afraid to say in my younger years, come out a lot easier in words to a song. So they've always just been those subconscious messages, I think, that I've needed to get out in order to release. And now Breaking Sound was the latest song that we wrote together as a band. So really, ultimately, I guess the most true representation of where we are now as a band at this time. And we all wrote the lyrics together, which is also
Nice.
a different thing than we typically do. Typically, I would stew over them for, a month or two and tweak them. But we sat there and we basically we wrote the story. What do we want to write about? What do we want to tell? And that's what came out.
In my head, I just thought about you saying, all right, we're going to write this together. You go once, someone says upon, a time, there was.
We did
get
that.
A circle and we just start writing a song. I'll say one word, you say the next word.
We did that, but with guitar riffs, actually, when writing
Oh,
the
cool.
song. We were doing it like, okay, so you write the intro, and we'll write the intro based off of your riff, and then Dex will write the verse, and we'll go with his riff, and then Justin. And so it was pretty cool. The song we haven't used at all because it was our first time messing around. But we tried that. It was fun.
So you got three guitar players,
Yeah,
a bass player, a drummer, and then you.
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
That's awesome. That is awesome. All right, let's check out this song, Breaking Sound. I think it came out on YouTube in December. And this is also, I'm sure, streaming on all streaming platforms and all
Yes,
that
sir.
good stuff. All right, here we go. There you go, man. Dude, that looks like it was so fun to make.
It was really fun to make. Yeah.
Did you get a
We're
haircut?
actually-
Did you get a haircut
I
since
did.
then? Okay, I was like,
Yeah, man. My kids, they pulled a trick on me, and I mean, that was my plan a little bit, but, and hopefully they don't see this interview. But Christmas Eve, their magical elf used the last of his magical powers to cut all of my hair off.
oh, wow.
You know, what are you gonna do?
Sometimes that happens. You know, the whole time I was listening to that song, I was thinking, man, I hope YouTube doesn't ding me for this one. And they might, but if they do, I'm gonna just hit you and be like, hey, dude, tell them we can play. Tell them we can play.
I wish that I could do that, but Warner Brothers is the.
Oh, is it one? Oh
Yeah,
man, it's a Warner thing. So with them, we never know. We may have to take it off. We might not have to take it off. I guess we'll find out when. If not.
Yep.
Then that will just get cut out, and the interview is still going to be there. So it is. So if it is cut out, go check it out. Go check it out, man. So do you guys have your merch, and all that good stuff?
We're just recording right now. I think we're going to focus on doing everything we can to put out a record in possibly late March or early April. It's looking like April at this point.
Okay.
So yeah.
And tour dates, anything coming up? Not at all. Huh?
Nope, not until we have this baby done. This is the primary focus.
So what's the main? What's like the end goal for? Is it like an album or?
Yeah. We're gonna put out a record, I think, which is interesting because a lot of people are just doing album or EPs and singles, and even the record label is like, what's the point of doing an album anymore? But every big band is still, I love when they still, we'll see, right now our goal and desire is to put out a full length album.
Okay. A lot of bands, it's honestly back and forth. I would say the majority of bands I talk to are doing singles, but I mean, look at, if we take Limp Bizkit, for example, they just came out with the full length album.
Man. Yeah, my favorite bands are putting out records, so that's what I want to do. Breaking Benjamin's putting out an album, the Seven Dust putting out an album, Limp Bizkit's putting out an album.
Yeah.
I know some bands are testing the waters with this other stuff, but I'm all about the album. Yeah,
man. I mean, hey, if that's what you're used to, and Imagine. So you're still with Imagine Records, right?
Yes. So we released Breaking Sound with them, and we're doing yep, exactly.
And was that the first record label that picked you guys up also?
It was.
And so during this whole hiatus of you guys taking a break, were you guys still technically on the label, or?
We were not, actually. We basically kind of just knew that we were going to take some time, and it was kind of a mutual understanding where when we were ready to go again, we would have a conversation and figure out what was best. And so we haven't had that full conversation yet. We tested the waters with that single, but now we're working on it.
I got a question because this is not music related at all, but Quad Cities, right?
Yeah.
And that's where you guys are. You guys are from, like Illinois area. So what is? I've never even heard. I've heard like the Twin Cities, Fort Worth and Dallas. But Quad's like four cities that all kind of are just right next to each other.
Yeah. Have you heard of John Deere, like John Deere tractors?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I
live in Oklahoma, man. Come on.
So Moline, Illinois, which is one of the Quad cities, is the home of John Deere.
Cool.
Their corporate headquarters is here. There's 4 or 5 gigantic John Deere factories here. The combines and everything are made here. So there's Moline and Rock Island on the Illinois side, and then Davenport and Bettendorf on the Iowa side. And it's just kind of a big square, and they call it the Quad Cities.
I guess you just cross state lines pretty easily then, huh?
Yep. Yeah, we're literally 10 miles from Iowa.
I've never been to Iowa. I've been to almost every state, but I've never been to Iowa. I've been to Chicago. So I've been to Illinois, I guess.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and if you've been to Chicago, you've been to the city, but out here where we are, it's definitely closer to like Iowa.
Okay.
Lots of cornfields, pretty much nothing.
Yeah. Dude, when I think of Illinois, I think cornfield, or I think
Yeah.
like plains. I don't think of Chicago. Like, to me, in my head, like, I know it's not a state, obviously, it's a city, but in my head, for some reason, like when I think of Chicago, I just think it's like it's not a state, but I feel like
Yeah.
in my head it's a state for some
Oh,
reason.
there's that meme that says, what everybody thinks of when they hear Illinois and they think of Chicago. They think all of Illinois just looks like Chicago. It's just a big city, but it's actually 95% cornfields.
Dude, I think the opposite.
I know, right?
I'm kind of backwards though, man. I mean, something's wrong with me, I think. So I'm a little different sometimes.
We're all backwards, man.
How many more songs do you have ready to record, or are you doing them kind of just as you finish one, writing another one?
Yeah, that's what we're doing. But we had a bunch of demos that we were choosing from, and then we wrote a couple new ones. So we're like 7 songs into 11 to 12 that we want to do.
Okay, and any of those, are you collaborating with any other musicians, songwriter, or singers on any of those newer songs coming out?
We're gonna have. He doesn't know it yet, but I'm gonna ask Justin Taylor from Auburn. He's our guitar player in 3 Years Hollow as well.
Mhm.
But he's got an amazing voice, and I want to kind of do like a duo thing. But we're also gonna have Morgan Rose lay a featured drum part from Seven Dust, so that'll be really
Nice.
cool. We've never had a drum feature before.
More bands should do that. Well, I think Travis Barker does that with a lot
Yeah,
of
exactly.
music,
Yeah.
but he's like the only one that kind of does that.
Yeah,
There's
he
not,
like publicizes the fact that he's like the featured drummer, and that's what we want to do with Morgan, really. But you're right, more people should. They should all sorts of instruments, featured bass players, featured guitar players, all that stuff.
because it does change the sound of the band,
Absolutely.
at least for that song. When
For
you get
that
someone,
song, yeah.
especially someone who has a very unique style. Like, I can imagine, I mean, I don't know, like Korn. Who's their bass player?
Fielding.
But yeah, I mean, because he plays a little bit
Yeah.
differently. Him being featured on a song would definitely change it.
Absolutely.
Well, dude, man, it's been great talking with you. Super
Hey,
cool,
man.
dude. If you guys do wind up touring, you come to Oklahoma City, man. Hopefully I catch that, and I will definitely go to a concert. Anything that you wanted to share while you're on here, we're gonna put this, to all my 3 fans that watch the show. And if you
Oh
want,
man, I don't have anything that I've rehearsed to pump out there. So I guess just check us out on our socials. We're doing the best to record some new music for all the fans that have supported us for so long, even through this long break. So thank you for having us on. But mostly featuring the band. So thank you.
absolutely. Anyone that's watching this, go ahead and follow 3 Years Hollow. Check out their YouTube. Check out them on all the streaming platforms. They do have a website. I did not write it down. Do you happen to know what that is?
3yearshollow.com.
3 years, and it's the number 3, right?
Yes, sir.
3yearshollow.com, and you could catch them right now. I think under shows there's nothing listed, but as you guys wind up getting shows, you can go on there, check it out, and I'm sure they'll have some merch on there as well when they're getting ready to start touring, because let's face it, a lot of bands when you're playing, you make your money by the shows, but you also make your money by selling the merch.
Absolutely.
Well, good luck to you. Don't go anywhere. I want you to stay right there till after the outro song plays, please. I do want to thank everyone that listens to The Loud Spot. You can check us out on www.theloudspot.net. Go to our YouTube channel. We're also on all streaming platforms. And our Patreon page is patreon.com/The Loud Spot. We do ask, if you do go there, give us $3 a month. It helps us out, helps pay for all this stuff. And, we don't make any money, so it all goes right back to the show. I guess that's, and we do have some merch on our website. That's all I got. Peace out, rock on, and much love.
This is the Loud Spot outro by Nothing Short of Tragic. Is this all talk with no action? No. Is this my thoughts with distraction? No. Is this what I bought that's in fashion? Or is this the Loud Spot with Sebastian? Yes. Does Nothing Short of Tragic have his back again? Yes. Does everything that's good really have to end? Yes. Our pin post has a pin show, so to get more episodes, make an order. This is over.
Thanks for watching our video. Don't forget to click the like and share button.
Don't forget to go to our YouTube and subscribe.
If you want to listen to our audio and pick up some cool merch, go to www.theloudspot.net. Peace out, rock on, much love.